Hello, this is RV Vagabond Jerry, and I'm at the Museum of American Speed in Lincoln, Nebraska. And this is a car museum, but it specializes in race cars. And it also has an amazingly large collection of children's pedal cars and model cars. And that, I think, is just as amazing as their race car collection. So come inside with me and I'll show you what I mean. With the speed theme, most of the cars they have here are race cars like this. Here's a racing motorcycle that they have cut away to show some of the inner workings. And it still has the keys in it. I think I missed this movie. Hot Rod Hullabaloo. We got some dragsters. And look at the inner workings of this one. If you're familiar with the Whizzer brand, they used to make like mopeds, real small motorbikes. Not this one. It's got an 8-cylinder engine on it. I thought I would never see an 8-cylinder Whizzer. Here's a Ford Fairlane Sunliner, which I guess is for the convertible turned into a race car. And here's the M&M Special. You'll never guess what this one is called. It is the pumpkin seed. Now this one is a little joke. Take a look at that. There's not even any place to sit in there. Wow. I bet there's a good reason behind the name of this one. Now this is one way to go. But with the engine in there, there's no place for a casket. And look at this driver's seat. This has got some really amazing racers. Look at that helmet car. They've got one of the Tuckers here. And here's the price sticker. Right at $5,000 with tax. Here's one of the world speed record cars that hit 312 miles per hour. Look how small those wheels are. Just about 1.5 feet high. We've got numerous of these old racers here. Here's one ready to get fueled up. Can you imagine driving this thing at a couple hundred miles an hour with steel seats, unpadded steel seats? Not me. That seems to be an odd looking one. And they got a 1950 Ariel. That's a pretty rare brand. They have an engine collection here. This is a 1952 Studebaker 8-cylinder. And they got a midget racer here. This tells a little about it. Now we go into some large-scale model cars. At the yellow cab, and look at this, a bumper car taxi. Never thought I would see one of those. Buick Lincoln Phaeton, American National Packard convertible. Wow. We have a lot of model cars here that are like 4, 5 feet long. There's a fire engine model. They even have a carousel for the little tykes. I bet some kid loved this back in the day. And they could ride a rocket ship for a mere 10 cents. Well, that makes sense. Man, talk about a toy land for kids that like cars, which are pretty much all kids. Can you just imagine kids having any of these? In this day and age, maybe not, but boy, back in the 50s, 60s, 70s, yeah. Even future farmers and future playboys, I guess. This one's about 6 feet long. Parked in front of the ice cream shop. How could they possibly have kept this in such good condition, considering what kids do to toys? And would you look at this? You know what this is? This is probably the most amazing lunchbox collection. Hee-haw. Wow. Did you have a lunchbox when you were a kid? I know I did. And if you had one of these, I think you would be the envy of the neighborhood. Here, I think, is what you would most likely expect these old toy cars to look like. Yep, I think so. Even old bicycles. And I can almost be assured you've never seen a collection like this. Look at all those. And superchargers.
That one was the three bullet holes. A lot of them are 3 bullet holes. They're a little stronger carburetor.
Nice. It always amazes me the kind of things any kind of vehicle museum has. Just incredible, I think. This one from 1934 could use a paint job. And they've got these little toy airplanes for kids. Wow, look at these. How amazing is all this, folks? I am really surprised at what they have here. Jeez. I can see getting a hold of a few dozen of these, but they've got hundreds. How the heck do you collect hundreds of these toy cars? Wow. Even got some toy boats that kids can ride around in. It's a sailboat. And antique scooters. This one's from 1927. Look at that little thing. Wow. This is the Whizzer I was telling you about earlier, which, by the way, is something that does not exist anymore. These are what you call mopeds. You would start the engine by pedaling. You pedal up, it gets the engine going. Bicycle with a gas engine. But you just don't find these things anymore. Nobody makes mopeds anymore. And I say that because I have actually recently tried to find online where to buy a new moped. And nobody makes them. They're all got electric motors now. Look at this huge collection. And here's something I wasn't expecting. Look at this. A collection of monkey wrenches. Museum of Monkey Wrenches. A 1914 Ford Model T made into a fire truck. And there's a bakery delivery truck. And here's a painter's supply truck that looks like a house. They call themselves the Home of Satisfaction. And guess what this is called? It was patented as a motor wagon or an automobile fueled by gas. There's an REO Speedwagon. This is a real car with a gas motor. Look at this. Wow. This must be the guy who got the name right. And look at this tiny little speedboat. That looks dangerous. Must be about 8 feet long. I bet this would impress the ladies back in the 1960s. And look what else they got their hands on. A Ford Model T with the engine number 5 million. How about that? And here's a completely unrestored truck carrying a racer on the bed. And they have got just all sorts of race cars here. It's a pretty amazing collection. If you're at all interested in car racing, this is a place you want to visit. Good day, folks.